Hello everyone. If someone asks you in Power BI interviews, when would you use related versus lookup value versus TREATAS, can you answer confidently? If not, you are in a right place. By end of this video, you will know exactly when to use which function like related, lookup value or TREATAS. And we'll see the practical demo how to use this function in real scenarios. Welcome back to Data with Pankaj. I am Pankaj, and on this channel we break down Power BI DAX data modeling concepts so you can use them in a real project. If you are new here, hit subscribe. I post weekly content on Power BI DAX data modeling. So before jumping into the demo, let's understand the data model. So currently we have 4 tables: products, region, selector, customer and sales. I will quickly do the modeling between this table. So I will join customer ID from customer table with a fact table, customer ID, and then product ID from product table to fact table, product ID. Intentionally for region, I'm not doing any modeling here. So in order to show the use of TREATAS function, I will not connect region table with the sales table. So before jumping into the DAX, let's quickly understand what are these three functions. I have created one document. So related versus lookup value versus TREATAS. Okay, so like why this particular topic is important for interview as well as the real project. Okay, those explanation is added here. You can see overview of the three functions: related, lookup value and TREATAS. Related is used when you have existing relationship between the two different tables. So it fetches the data from related table, work with active relationship only. So whenever you have inactive relationship, it will not work. Okay, using calculator column, and in terms of performance, related is faster. Lookup value, you can say manual lookup without relationship. So in order to use a lookup value, relationship is not mandatory. Then we can have some condition to search value similar to the Excel VLOOKUP. No physical relationship is required. So within the model, if you don't have relationship between two tables, then you can use lookup value function. It is slower than related in terms of performance. TREATAS create virtual relationship, apply filter between the tables, use inside the calculator. No physical relationship is required. Context based on the filtering. So virtual filter, this is the relationship based manual lookup, and this is the virtual filter. Okay. And here I have mentioned in detail function syntax, then transact with the example. Okay. So I will attach this document in the video description so you can have this handy to get the better understanding for your interview. Okay. So I have mentioned the key differences between these three functions, in which scenario you should use each function. Okay. In terms of performance, like related is faster, lookup value is slower, and this is again context based. Okay. So usually TREATAS is not used, but in interview there may be question. Okay. What is the difference between related lookup value and TREATAS function? Okay. These are the common mistake you should avoid. Choosing the right function improve model performance. Obviously performance matter are there. So this document have in detail explanation of these three functions. You can keep this handy for your next interview or maybe for your real project as well. As we have seen that related function will work with a calculated column. Means if two tables are connected and we have active relationship, then we can bring the column from another table to related table. Okay. So if you see our model, so our product table is connected with our sales table. Okay. We have one-to-many relationship. Now I want to bring the product name column in my sales table. So we can use a related function here. So I will go to the table view, navigate to the sales table. I will create a new column. In sales table, we don't have the product name column. I want to bring the product name column from product table. Okay. Product name. So I will use a related function. Related, you can see it is just asking one argument, what column is required. So whichever table is connected, you will see those all columns here. You can see product, customer. Okay. Now here in our model, region selector is not connected. So you can see a region table is not here. So related, I need the product name. So from product table, I need the product name. So here you can see the product name is called from product table into sales table. Similarly, we can bring the few columns from customer. Let's say I want to bring the segment from customer table, then I can again create a new column. Segment, then related function. Then again column name. So I will type the segment from customer. We want to bring the segment into sales table. So here segment is pulled into sales tables. This is possible because we have active relationship between this table. Okay. Product is connected with the sales table and customer is connected with the sales table. Now, what if there is no relationship between two tables? Maybe you cannot create one because of many to many situation or because the model doesn't support it. Okay. So in that case, lookup value came into picture. So it is like a VLOOKUP in Excel. If you see the syntax for lookup value, let me create one column in sales table, but before that let me disable the relationship between the product and sales table. Let me delete this relationship. Now I want to bring the product name using lookup value. Okay, if I go here, create a new column, lookup value will support for both calculated column and measure, but measure in only few scenarios it will support. Okay, product name using lookup value. Okay. So if I type the lookup value, a lookup value function, okay, the syntax you can see result column, search value. We can pass multiple search condition here. Okay, so what I want to bring in a sales column, product name. So I will type a product name, then search on which particular. If you see the product and sales table, we have product ID common in both the tables. So I will select product ID from product table, and search value will be product ID from our sales table. Okay. Now if you go to the table, you can see the product name is bring into the sales table using lookup value function. Okay, there are multiple use cases. So if I want to bring the subcategory from product table, then we need to change the little bit in a formula. Okay, here product name using selected value. If I go to that column, you will see what DAX we have used. So instead of product name, I will just pass the product subcategory. Okay, here new column, lookup value. Here I need product, column name is subcategory. Product subcategory, again it will be based on the product category only, so the other thing will be remain same. So here I will just pass subcategory. So here you will see the subcategory column is pulled from product table to the sales table. So this is the use of lookup value function. So in terms of performance, it will be slow as compared to the related function. Okay, now third function is TREATAS. TREATAS is the most advanced of three and the most commonly misunderstood functions. Okay, so related and lookup value, which return a column value row by row. TREATAS create a virtual relationship at a query time inside a calculate statement. So it pairs DAX with the values in the columns if they were in that other columns and use them as a filter. So like TREATAS can be used in a measure. Okay, so most commonly use cases to use in a measure. So let's say here in this page, or here we can just have, let me duplicate this page. For TREATAS we'll go with a one measure. Okay, in sales table we have region, and then we can have, here we can just track the total amount. So here we are able to see the region wise total amount. If I enable the data label, then here you can see the region wise total sales amount. Okay, but if you go to the model, we have region selector one table. Okay, that contain the another information related to region, like region full name, then region, maybe manager for that particular region. So if I want to use the region from region selector table using TREATAS function, so how to use that particular? Okay, so we'll create a simply one measure here, new measure. So sales by selected region. Okay, so here I have to use calculate to have the filter context applied. Okay, calculate, then sum of total sales, sum of sales amount, sales or total amount. Here I will use a TREATAS function to treat the relationship between a region table and fact sales table. Okay, so region selector TREATAS. Here we cannot use directly TREATAS, so here we need to use the table function. Okay, so values I will use, so values need inputs of table or column name. Okay, so either column name should be the input or table name, any of them is acceptable. Okay, so here I will pass the region selector and then column name, region name. Okay, and it should be related to our region column from our sales table. So I will just select sales region. Okay, and let me just drag this to Canva. Yeah, here you can see total sale is 19.61. Okay, that is for overall sale. Okay, now the sales I am tracking from sales table, like newly created measure. A region I will use from our region table. You will see you will get same value even though there is no relationship. You can say this is from our sales table, like region and sales amount both are from same table. So here we have created one measure using pretest and we are getting same value. Okay, if you compare for each region, then it will be same. Like west we are getting 4.7 million, central we have 3.3 million, east we have 3.2 million. So this is the use of pretest function. So in virtually it will create a relationship based on the common column. Okay, this all about these three different function related versus lookup value versus TREATAS. Okay, and these are very important for real scenarios as well as for interview point. Okay, so how to answer perfectly during the interview. Okay, like you can say all these three functions serve different purpose depending on the scenario we need to use any of these function. So in simply related is mostly used when we have active relationship between two tables and it will work with a calculated column. Okay, for lookup value, when I cannot create a relationship like physical relationship, it work the like VLOOKUP in Excel. So we can bring the related columns from another table using lookup value function. Okay, and for TREATAS, you can say that TREATAS is used when I need virtual relationship inside the calculate expression, typically for disconnected slicer table or when if scenarios it does not modify the data model and it's computed at a query time. Okay, so without modifying the data model structure, if you want the value from another table or you can say not connected table, then we can go for TREATAS. Okay, this is all about these three function. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, subscribe the channel, give a like. Thank you.